Hello and welcome to another episode of Kickin' with Coach C. As always, I'm your host, Diante Richardson, kicking it with the undefeated head coach of the Pride, Isaac Collins. What's going on, Coach? How you doing?
Doing well, doing very well.
As you should. For today, we will be recapping the Pride's victory over the Lions of Albright, as well as the FDU situation this past weekend. Before we get into the highlights for Albright, let's take a look at Inside the Pride with Zach Barledge. Take it away, Zach.
If you love offensive football and haven't had the chance to catch a Widener game this season, you're really missing out, trust me. But if you have caught a few Pride games, there are two things you probably have become accustomed to seeing each week. The first is a ton of points. The Widener offense this year is averaging 52.3 points per game. This is tops in the nation for the 2012 season. The second thing is a really underrated aspect of football that sometimes gets taken for granted, and that's incredible depth. We recently caught up with senior running back Diante Richardson on Inside the Pride. We talked a lot about things, including what it's like to share the rock in such a deep backfield. Here with Diante Richardson. Diante, tell me, after you transferred in your sophomore year from Albright, your junior year you really began to carry the ball as one of the primary backfield carriers for this offense. Talk about what it's like to be a primary ball carrier in an offense that's really quite explosive.
I mean, our offense is really explosive. I've been fortunate enough to be on a team where three backs, the three-headed monster, we all get to carry the ball, we get to share the love. If you come to the games, you guys see we're not a selfish team. No one on our team is selfish. Everyone gets to touch the ball, and I've been thankful to be just a part of this team and be one of the #1 offense in the nation.
Now, you said a three-header monster. By my count, you guys have been, this is one of the most unique running back situations I've ever seen at any level. You guys got 5 guys carrying the ball between you and Cuvée Lafayette, Terrence Morrison, and then Chris Wicks and Leroy Wesley coming in. Explain the dynamic of that situation. I mean, it's really rare.
The young guys, Chris Wicks and Leroy, they're really going to step in. I'm a senior this year, so obviously I'm graduating, but everyone is young, so it's really where we compete on a unit level, and we just try and make each other better, and we feed off each other's energy. When one person has a big play, the next person comes in, and we just ride off each other. That's the best part of our unit. We stay explosive, we stay fresh, and everyone gets to touch the ball, which is awesome.
Now, there's got to be some, in the locker room competition between you 5. Maybe who gets the most yards, touchdowns this week, or maybe over the whole year. Can you share with any of us? Some of that kind of stuff. Is there any competitions like that?
We joke around with each other about scoring and stuff like that. But to be honest, we're pretty good with it. Last week at homecoming, I had 2 touchdowns, and then a couple weeks ago, Cuvée had 2 touchdowns. We joke with each other, but we're pretty good about letting each other get in the end zone. We're hyped for each other. So.
And that's not to mention the 3 different fullbacks you guys play. So by my count, that's 8 different backs that are getting carries, touchdowns, yardage. That's pretty incredible. Yeah. So, do you have a player in the NFL that maybe you model your game after?
I really model my game after Arian Foster. I love watching him play. I feel like he's one of the most graceful running backs in the league. The way that he runs and totes the rock, it's incredible. And that's the way I think of myself: to run run hard, graceful, and try to do the best I can every time I touch the ball.
Flow like water is what Arian Foster says. You feel that you, I was going to ask you to do that next. But if you had an off day from football, maybe what would you do non-football related if, a day away from the game?
That's easy. I just kick my feet up on the couch. I chill with my roommates, catch up on our Nat Geo, Animal Planet, call the wild man, take out my puppy D's to Old Main, through a nice little stroll through Old Main, throw the Frisbee around a little bit. Just relax, man.
You're the 3rd one in a row to say that. Gravney said relax. Before that, Haupt said just sleep. So at least I appreciate you giving me some of the Nat Geo TV shows that you guys like to watch. Okay, what is your major, and when you graduate this May, what do you plan on doing with your life after football?
Major right now is physical therapy. Next year, hopefully, I'm applying to grad school this spring. Hopefully, I'll be in either Widener's graduate program for physical therapy or Newman, maybe even Westchester. That's my ultimate goal. Maybe get some internships. Get some experience under my belt, but right now I'm just enjoying every moment. Every game, every practice, just getting ready for that next level, man, to compete towards that national championship. That's just my main goal right now.
Your favorite memories so far as a student athlete here at Widener?
Student athlete, for me personally, like you said, I came from Albright, so we were out in Albright in the snow blizzard game. My rival school, all my buddies play on that team. We blew them out. Everyone, explosive plays. I mean, that was just my favorite, just beating my old school, and just kind of be able to rub it in their face a little bit. I mean, there's so many good memories on this team. So many great wins, but that's just the one that sticks out to me the most.
Not to mention it was in a blizzard in November. That's pretty cool. An 80-yard sprint for you for a touchdown there on that first possession. That's always good. Dante, thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Good luck the rest of the year.
Thank you.
Between the pent-headed monster of tailbacks this season, the Pride ball carriers have rushed 656 yards and 11 touchdowns. For Inside the Pride, I'm Zach Barledge. So long, and roll Pride.
Thanks, Zach. Let's go ahead and get into those highlights for Albright. On first down from the 16, we see a touchdown pass to Steve Morrell, first of the year.
Nice job battling for tough yards and getting it in the end zone.
On first down on defense, a big sack by the freshman Shakur Phillip.
Great job splitting the double team.
Back on third down on offense, Chris Hopp is able to find Anthony Davis running across the middle for a big touchdown, breaking off tackles and getting in the end zone.
Great job high and tight with the ball and splitting defenders, getting in the zone.
Back on defense, we see a big play by Joe Wojo as he's able to chase down the QB for a big sack.
Great discipline and coverage, guys matched up, forced the quarterback to pull it down, and Wojo finishes the play off.
After the sack, on 2nd and 12, another is applied by defense player of the game, Jamal Dorsey.
Great bend here by Dorsey, wrapping up, finishing on the quarterback.
On 3rd and 20, in the red zone, Chris is able to find Steve Morrell for his second touchdown of the day.
Great protection there by the O-line, and Steve finishes off with a great touchdown.
Late in the game, which was potentially the game-winning stop on 4th and 1, the Pride is able to get a huge stop on the goal line. Pride win, 34-29.
Great goal line stands there.
Coach, what were your thoughts on how your team fared throughout the game against Albright?
Well, I mean, I was very pleased in terms of the fact that we battled for 4 quarters. I think at times we had control of the game. We didn't make enough plays to put them away, but ultimately the mission every week is just to find a way to win games, and that's what our guys are doing. They're finding a way each week to win. So we're fired up and excited and looking forward to being in the position that we're in right now.
Well, you definitely did. In the studio, we are joined by players of the game, Steve Morrell and Anthony Davis. What's going on, fellas? How you doing?
Pretty good.
Doing good.
That's good. Steve, I'm going to start out with you. You scored your first 2 touchdowns of the year against Albright. What did you do to put yourself in that situation?
Each week we face a pretty good scout team. They work real hard, and specifically Tyrone Bundy's over me every week, and he works real hard, and he pushes us. And also watching film is a huge part of it every week, and including that week.
Shout out to Tyrone Bundy. And then here, and also Anthony, and also for life after football, what is your plans? What is your major, and what do you plan to do after college?
Right now my major is international business, but I'd like to pursue a career in athletic training. I'm actually kind of taking an opposite path, but yeah, definitely athletic training right now.
Got a future A.J. Duffy on our hands, huh? All right, well, thank you, and I'm glad to have you in the studio today.
Thank you very much.
All right. Anthony Davis, welcome back, man.
How you doing, D?
Well, you're a frequent flyer at this show, and I was going to say, how do you feel about how you did personally this season as far as your performance?
First, just want to thank God because He who strengthens me. And I'm doing well with my coaching staff. The coaching staff pushes me to be the best that I can be, and they're doing a good job at it.
That's good to hear. What can you do this week to continue your success in helping your team?
Go further into detail, listen to my coaches more, and give it everything I got.
Well, that's good. Well, thank you for being on our show today, and I appreciate you guys, and I wish you best of luck for the rest of the year.
Thank you
Very much.
Now, Coach, this week just passed. After the Albright win, the Fairleigh Dickinson game was canceled due to the natural disaster of Hurricane Sandy. My thoughts and prayers go out to those who are still without power, ones who have lost their homes, and families who have lost loved ones. Coach, can you explain a little bit as far as on the football side on what happened and all the confusion that was surrounding the NCAA and the FDU game?
Well, I think the first thing is that anytime you have a storm hit and do the damage that Sandy did, that becomes the #1 priority. Putting things in context. We play a game that we're blessed to play, but when things like this happen, you got to first look at the safety of the student athletes. And FDU hasn't had power. In fact, I think they still don't have power. So there was no way that we were going to be able to go up there and play the game, on top of the fact that their players were sent home. All their students were sent home because they didn't have any power. So it's an unfortunate for our players, but certainly our prayers go out to those folks that have been affected by the storm. We're excited that we're still in a great position here in terms of just the confusion that was surrounding it. The NCAA only recognizes a forfeit if a game is started. So the fact that neither team was able to start the game, we're only being deemed a winner in our conference, and that's really just to keep us paced in terms of the tiebreaker with Lycoming and Del Valle. So the way it'll work is we'll be 9-0 in the MAC conference. So in terms of our conference recognizing us with 9 wins, that's going to be done. It's already posted on the website. But in regards to the NCAA, we're 8-0. So it's a case where everything's still the same. We got to beat Del Valle on Saturday to get the automatic bid. We are going to be at least co-champs. So it's a case where I think we're getting everything that we needed to get done.
Well, speaking of Delaware Valley, with sole possession of the MAC championship, an automatic playoff bid, not to mention going up against your hated rival, Delaware Valley, and recapturing the Keystone Cup, how are you preparing your team for this game, for this huge game this week?
Well, I think when you're 8-0, you don't change a lot. For us, it's about being more detailed. It's about, us focusing on us and making sure that, we're taking care of the football. They're an exciting team to watch on film. They look like the 4-time defending champs. I know they got off to a little bit of a slow start, but on defense, they got guys running around and making plays. Their young players are playing a lot better from where they were earlier in the season. Offensively, they're explosive. They got a great quarterback, great group of receivers, and 2 dynamic running backs, and an offensive line that's opening up holes. So I think for us, it's about us doing what we do. I think if we can go out and play Widener football, take care of the football, offensively, we're going to have to hang on to the ball to keep their offense off the field. And defensively, we're going to have to get stops on 3rd down and find a way to get the ball back for our offense. If we can follow the formula that got us here, I think at the end of the day, we'll be very pleased with the results.
Well, I wish you and the Pride best of luck this week, Coach. Well, thank you for joining Coach and I for another episode of Kickin' with Coach C. Come and kick it with me and him next week, as we will be recapping the conclusion to the Pride's regular season conquest. Until next time, take it easy, Widener Nation. Peace.